All right, I am going to call the Town of Manteo Planning and Zoning Board meeting of October 12th, 2021, 6 o'clock p.m. to order. So our first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. So we have the agenda, and it's been distributed. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll move that we adopt the agenda as submitted.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motioner and a seconder. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? So the ayes have it unanimously, and we have adopted the agenda for the evening. Our third order of business is approval of the minutes, and these are the minutes of the meeting September 14th, 2021. The minutes have been distributed and reviewed by the Planning Board. Are there any changes, modifications, or is there a motion for approval of the minutes of September?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motioner and we have a seconder. All those in favor of approval of the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes carry that unanimously. The next order of business is under public comment, and I'd just like to read our public comment statement. I see that we do have people in the audience who may wish to speak. So members of the public are invited to address the Planning Board. Public comment is not intended to require the board to answer any impromptu questions or to take any action on items brought up during the public comment period. Speakers will address all the comments to the board as a whole and not one individual member. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed, and time limits are 3 minutes per person or 5 minutes per group. So if you would like to make a comment, I will call on you, and please identify yourself so that your statements can be recorded. So this is time for the public comment period. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak? No? Would you please step up to the podium and identify yourself, and you've got three full minutes.
Sure. My name is Dave Kaiser, and we just moved here to Manteo. We actually bought the firehouse down the street. And so I figure we're going to become good friends with many of the people in this room, and need to get to know you better so that we understand what's going on, which is actually why we're here. This is my lovely wife, Brenda. I also call her Dr. B because she's Dr. Brenda Shore. And she's actually going to be leading our restoration effort on the firehouse. We do plan to live in it. We live there today. And so we're going to be renovating it probably here in some future months. And so you'll be hearing from us, actually. And so we wanted to come and see how the proceedings go. Not that we really had any real questions for you tonight. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave and Barbara. Welcome to Manteo. There's no place like it. Glad to see that you're here, and what an interesting location you have.
Please don't put the siren and hook it back up. It's just getting where I can sleep now.
If we have 30 seconds left, we are going to restore it back to the condition it was in 1941.
Wow.
Come down. Actually, if anybody's not aware, the original roof and the integrity of that building still exists under that facade. And actually, the satellite dish that was up there in 1975 was put on still exists. The tools are still up there when John Wilson and them put it up. So it's pretty cool. It's like an archive of
Wow.
So it's very exciting. And everybody so far has been great. We've been working with a lot of the people in town for the history.
It is a town which loves history and is very supportive of history. I am so grateful to hear that you're digging in deep.
It's going to look the same, and then we're going to live there all night.
Great. Well, welcome. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to make a public comment? Okay. All right. So we will then move to our next order of business, and that's new business. And we have one item on new business, and that is a review of our town common and Phase 2. So everyone's familiar with our town common, our beautiful town common. Phase 2 is actually one of the most exciting parts of the town common. It's the restroom. So we actually looked at the restroom building during our park meeting, which was on Monday, the 4th of October. And everyone is really thrilled that we are moving into Phase 2 and that we can actually build this, because we all know what it's like for families to drive up, or anyone to drive up and need a facility. So everyone is thrilled about that. There were a few comments about the architecture of the building from the Preservation Architectural Review Committee, and Planner Dickerson will go over those. And tonight, I guess we're really looking for a motion on this building with our recommendations.
Yes, Madam, excuse me, yes, Madam Chair. So this evening, we want to take your comments regarding the architectural features into advisement, and then what we will be looking for at the end of your conversation is a recommendation for approval of the plans. And then, of course, we will take your comments along with us as we move forward to the bidding stage, which would come next. So I will rewind back. Ooh, I went a little too fast, I think. It froze on me. There we go. So when we started talking about a rest area, a restroom for a town common, we looked to our neighbors across the Sound who had just built a public bathroom at Dowdy Park. And this is what Nags Head's Dowdy Park bathroom looks like. And after town manager Ayers shared the idea that we could start from this structure perhaps for the town common, the Board of Commissioners asked that the roof line be changed to be more in keeping with structures in town. So the layout is really similar to the restroom at Dowdy Park. We did eliminate a stall in each side, so it's a little smaller. Of course, this was the site plan that was more conceptual, and just before Park met last week, I was able to get the preliminary site plan, so you see the bathroom sited, the restroom in this area here. I'll note that we have already, when we constructed the town common, we stubbed out all the utilities in this area, so all of those things are located in this location to move forward. So this is what the architect has now presented for the town to consider. Of course, as Chair Wickstrom mentioned, it has been reviewed by the Preservation Architectural Review Committee, and they did have some comments. So, Madam Chair, when you are ready, I can go comment by comment, and we can flip back and forth between this bulleted list and the elevations.
What is the pleasure of the planning board? Are there any comments you'd like to give now, or would you like to hear the comments that the Preservation Architectural Review Committee had first?
Let's go through those first, and then we can...
Everybody okay with that? All right, let's do that.
Okay, very good. So starting at the top, the recommendation was to remove this decorative bracket.
Can I ask why they did that? Because there are a lot of structures down here that have that bracket, and way back when, before we had all the hurricane ties and connectors, that served a very useful purpose for reinforcing the upper part of the roof. Uplift.
Sure. I noted that I noticed these on a lot of structures, and it was mentioned that those are more of a lifeguard house, I guess, bracket.
There's a whole bunch of houses in Pirates Cove that have them, including mine.
Okay.
Mine also has some similar.
Okay.
That's original to the house.
So we can park that comment and look at that again, since that's
Sure.
a difference of view.
Yeah. Let me just get back here real quick. Okay, and so the next comment was to remove all of the shutters. And there was a good discussion about shutters. And while we were meeting, I flipped through the Manteo Way, and it's interesting because there are many homes in Old Town Manteo that do not have shutters. I did, in driving by the Roanoke Island Inn, notice that they have shutters, but rather than having an X in the shutters, there's more of a Z.
Which is what's on the doors of the distillery.
Of the
Yeah.
plans for the distillery that y'all will hopefully see next month, so. The next comment is that if the dormer remains, use windows to match the ones on the first floor. So I've received some clarification since Park has met. Those are actually shutters. They are not, there's no window there. Those are just shutters to break up that dormer. So they're not actually windows in those dormers.
I think the assumption with Park is that they covered windows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are false dormers.
I see when you remove the shutters from the first floor, that it doesn't make sense why there's shutters on the second floor. But it's not a window there, so just, what are you gonna have if you don't have a shutter?
Yeah, it's gonna look pretty stark because it's a false dormer.
Right.
There's no window there.
And I think they were particularly unapproving of the shutters on the lower level because of the strange squat size of them and not the typical size of a shutter in
It's a
terms of
bathroom, you just want
ratio.
a small window at the top.
Well, I just mean for the bottom. And
No,
so-
no, I know, yeah, but the windows are the size they are because it's a bathroom and you just
Right,
have
right,
a
right,
small
right.
window up at the top.
Right, and so, now, this is what I remember from that, and was that people didn't mind as much the top shutters as they did the bottom shutters. But I guess in the end, we all agreed that the shutters would not remain.
Yes, that was the recommendation, that at the end of the conversation, that all the shutters be removed.
Well, we did have some back and forth on the top shutters, yeah.
And then the final comment, which is most of the time noted in our Manteo Way discussions, is that the pickets need to go all the way to the steps, which they do not in the drawing.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, so the pickets,
On the stairway, the pickets run all the way to the tread instead of stopping at the bottom rail of the railing.
And that's a very uniform
It is.
recommendation
Yeah, I
that
mean,
is,
We've had that come up
Mhm.
lots of times on houses in Marshall's Light.
right.
They draw it up with the pickets up.
So Park makes a recommendation to us, and then it's our opportunity to have the discussion and then make a recommendation then to the Board of Commissioners.
Madam Chair, in this case, because it is not a single-family home and I cannot approve the structure, that authority lies with you all. So that's why we will need a motion from you all to approve this. It's not a recommendation to the board. You all actually approve.
Oh, this doesn't go to the Board of
They
Commissioners?
will approve it separately because they have to approve all of the remaining documents, but for construction purposes, the approval lies with you all.
us, okay.
So, yes, that's what we're going to be looking for.
All righty.
But if there are architectural notes and comments that you all want us to take into advisement, I ask you to share those with us.
how, could you go back to that?
To Parks comments?
Park comment?
Sure.
What do you call those? Recommendations or?
Yes.
So I've heard from two on the planning board that the decorative bracket was something that they embraced. I don't know enough to make a recommendation to keep that. All right. So a motion could be made.
I'll recommend that we keep the brackets on the roof.
Is there a seconder to that motion?
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I'm going to say nay, to be consistent with my earlier comments.
Understood.
Yes. So the motion passes 4-1. All right. This is the fun of serving on 2 different committees with authority. It's all good. All right. So remove all shutters, but keep the trim around the window was the other recommendation.
Then we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with the windows, the false windows in the dormers that just have a shutter.
Upstairs. Mhm. So one thing, right, that I remember, and Melissa, either back me up or refute me, and that is the X in the shutter was not, they did not feel was in the Manteo way of building. That
Yes.
it was either a louvered shutter or a raised shutter, and we did we not look at the Z?
We didn't. I noticed it afterwards when I
Okay.
drove by. We looked at the Z on the other agenda item that day.
Oh, yes.
Copy of the Manteo way?
I got it real quick.
Thumb through that?
You could probably pull it up, too. And do you have the design guidelines? That's the one that's helpful.
There's shutters referenced in there?
That's what I'm looking to see if it
Oh, I think we just,
goes balustrades, porch rafters, decorative roof brackets.
Madam Chair, while y'all are taking a look at that, I want to note, I don't think that you need individual motions on these. I think we'll just look at the minutes for guidance on what your conversation is.
okay.
So I don't think you need formal motions.
Okay.
don't
I think
see anything
Park might-
specific, but here's a house with shutters.
Right. And that is true. I mean, there are many houses, I don't know what the split is. I don't know, this percentage and this percentage, but there are many houses with shutters in Manteo, including my own house.
And I'll note, because I think I've mentioned it more in my, when I set this up for Park than I did for you all. The dormers, and I'd like to get y'all to weigh in on this too. The dormers, the note at Park says if the dormers remain, because the dormers do not have to be there.
You stark looking building without them, it adds a
Agreed.
nice architectural feature to the building.
And I would like to remind us that we, not long ago, also approved another building that the town is building, and that's the one that will house the pumping station. And I remember on that one as well, this board decided to keep the decorative element of the cupola on the top when the park board had removed it. So I just wanted to remind you all of that. That was not that long ago either, so
Yeah.
this appears to be a trend with our...
And when this is bid, the dormer will be very similar to the metal roof. There will be add or deductive alternates. So however the document is prepared, they will be optional, listed. in
Oh,
that.
yes, that's
Is-
correct.
Alyssa, is that open in the ceiling overhead?
I don't think that it is,
They're
no.
false dormers.
Yeah.
False dormers, okay.
Just something to break up that roof line, so it's not just a big.
I was gonna say, if you removed the shutters and changed those to windows, there'd be some daylight, whenever there's a power outage, you
Yeah.
I have a picture. So Melissa's writing the comments down. We don't need individual motions, just a final
ma'am.
motion. I have something that's not architectural, but maybe we should finish the architectural concerns up first. Got a lot of Nadine. Any other comments?
I think everybody was okay with the pickets on the bottom.
Yeah, that's kind of a standard that we have.
Yes, I like every shutter I've seen better than these. Either
The raised or louvered. This one is raised. So,
Raised, it looks like a kitchen cabinet style.
here, you can pass that down if you want, and then I'll show how. So, it looks like
So
keep
to
the
that style
pickets
shutter.
and the shutters.
I'm not clear on the shutters. Can y'all?
Yeah, we
I
need
think-
to,
Yeah, I think we're looking at keeping the shutters, but getting rid of the
I think that
the cross
particularly-
bracing in there and doing some other style
Makes that
shutter.
big
and are we
difference.
talking about the shutters on the top or on the bottom or both?
Just screwed on the.
Yeah.
I said both, but-
Question.
I don't know whose house.
No, that's the same one that's in here.
Oh,
Do you have a preference or is it your ad?
That's my.
Oh, that's your house.
I don't know, what there must be, they wouldn't have done
That's one we
it just
built
for
with the manual
decoration. There must be there's got to be structural reason why they do this.
So,
I don't care either.
I think for sure we're good on the pickets going all the way to the steps.
Right, that one
That's
we-
no problem.
right, that one we've got. And we've got the decorative bracket. We made actually a motion instead of a recommendation on that, but. And so I guess now we're at the shutters. So we've got the raised possibility, the louvered possibility.
Go back to the picture of the shutters and zoom in on that a little bit.
And-
I can zoom in, I think. I just have to do it.
Did I see that? Whoa.
It's magic.
Magic fingers.
Go back to the front picture.
We're seeing work on this.
Yeah, zoom in, yeah. I like the shutters, but I do think with the board and batten on the top, the cross bracing at the top, the cedar shake underneath, and then the X is just a little too much. If they were just plain
Yeah,
like, or simpler like you have at your house.
Raised.
Shutter.
Or either the style you have at your house, or the
Louvered.
louvered ones where it was just straight lines, so it would all be,
Yeah, I agree, the X is a little
it would
busy.
work a lot better.
Well, the park committee thought they looked more barn-like, it seems to me, more farmhouse-like, and not so Manteo-like.
Yeah, I'd go along with either the raised or the louvered. Anything's gonna look better than the cross bracing on there.
Okay, and any other comments about the raised or the louvered? And are we talking about all of the shutters, keeping all of the shutters? Or just the shutters on the top?
I would say all shutters, including we call them the fake windows.
Yeah, on the
They
other
would
side.
match. You go back to the louvers now.
So that would be 1, 2, 3 windows on that side and 2 windows here, right?
And two on the other side.
And 2 on the other side, okay, so. 6,
Yeah, it looks like the cartoons when they put X's over their eyes.
7. Right.
If they were
Okay.
just Either louvers or the simpler shutters like,
Yeah, there's the raised,
Yeah.
they look kind of like a kitchen cabinet.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that one.
Okay.
I understand, yeah.
So we're not taking a motion, just comments. So let me rephrase. So it looks like all, I think, did we go 7 windows? All 7 windows will have shutters, or this is the recommendation. And we do not want the farmhouse/barn shutters with the X's. We want either raised or louvered. Is that good enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
One other thing I noticed, and Melissa, you may know the answer to this. these are obviously preliminary drawings,
Mhm.
but this is in a flood zone, there's no flood vents in that foundation wall. You know, the floor is at elevation 8.1, which has it above flood, but the foundation wall, the crawl space underneath should have, you know, they're just showing the block wall, which should have flood vents in it.
Okay.
We didn't catch that on
I-
the clock.
And they've got the, like, bush detail in the, I don't know, I think they're just preliminary for.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can make a note to
Yeah.
remind them that it is going to
Sure.
use flood vents.
And then the last comment that I have about the restroom is something I've been thinking about just generally in Manteo. And I've been thinking that it would be wonderful if we could have a demonstration project where we use solar panels. And I thought this small structure would be so great to put solar panels on and help us bring energy into the lights and the flushing and the hand, I think it's a hand dryer. So anyway, it's something I've been thinking about, and I don't know, I know this is sort of last minute, I didn't bring it up on Park, but I've been trying to figure out some new ways of bringing different kinds of energy into Manteo. So I don't know, does anybody else think that's an interesting idea, or?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, definitely. A positive idea, yeah.
yeah, that would definitely provide enough for all the hot water that would be used in there, heating the water and, you know, running the hand dryers and probably the lights, probably run the whole building off of it as long as it wasn't cloudy.
Melissa, is that something we can just add, just as, this is something we're very interested in on the planning board to do. And I've been doing some research on it, and I know maybe one of the reasons for us not doing something like this, I know a lot of towns are trying to use more, solar and
Wind.
other kinds of energy as well, wind. We certainly have a lot of sunny days in Manteo, but I was looking at it, and so there really is a kind of structure, the way that the panels are built, that are different, that allow for wind to sort of travel through it and not rip them off. Hal, you probably know more about this than I do. It's more of a curved bracket that they're fitted into instead of that squared rectangular. So you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, this apparently has been, has been tried as a model. So I don't know. It seems like it might be something interesting to do. If not on this building, personally, I would love to see solar incorporated into at least the town buildings when we can.
You have solar shutters.
And what?
I said solar shutters.
This would be a perfect building, I think, to do solar and/or wind, as, small wind generator out back and have it semi-off-grid, because it'd still be flowing to our wastewater plant and water, but have the power side of it off-grid.
On A1.1, Hal, do you know anything about that plumbing situation? Are urinals not required to be hooked up? Is that an oversight, or is that a different architectural code?
I'm sorry, what's the question? Can you restate your question?
In the A1.1, it shows
They
no
forgot
plumbing
the
going
sewer
to
line,
the...
They forgot the drain line from the urinal over.
Good catch, Fields. Good catch.
Fields, because all the other toilets are hooked to drain lines, and the urinal in the men's room is not.
Ruh-roh.
Some people might go in there barefooted in the summer.
Um, I'll draw your attention to the stamp that says it's for informational purposes.
Okay.
Not for
I think we know
construction.
that. We just don't want it to be overlooked on
Sure.
any of the finals as well.
When you're issuing the plumbing permit,
I'll
make
pay
sure
extra
you
attention.
have them all hooked up.
All right,
I
so,
got one more thing
Oh,
I'd like to
yes.
bring up, and Melissa, you may know the answer to this. Is there any funding involved for the maintenance and the cleaning of this? And are they thinking of locking it after a certain time at night? Because I know the other restrooms that were public in town get vandalized all the time.
That was one of the considerations when we decided to do this kind of plumbing plan with the more commercial grade toilets. But I think this will be treated just like we'll have automatic locks on the doors and they won't be open
Yeah,
24/7.
9, 10
and
o'clock or
They'll be
something,
cleaned by
locked
town
up.
staff, just like our other 2 locations downtown.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, we do need a motion to move forward on this.
Yes, ma'am, for approval, and then we'll take your comments under advisement.
Thank you.
How would you word that? Do you have motion to approve with?
With recommendations?
I would
Are
just
they-
say to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the.
Okay.
I'll second it.
We have a motioner, we have a seconder. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it unanimously. Very well. So we are now at number 6, and that is board member comments. I usually start with Nicole. Do you have any board member comments?
I'm still hoping we will get a button for a crosswalk at Ananias there. So we really need a button so that we can cross at Ananias there.
Very well.
Where is that? Sorry, look at my maps.
64, and the ice cream shop and the Baptist
Shop
church.
there, yeah. Old Town Creamery.
Fields, do you have anything?
I'd like to say the same thing, so Nicole's not late to our meetings.
I was over there going, I'm going to have to jaywalk big time if I leave.
I have no
Very
comment.
good. That was worth the wait,
But it's for
Fields.
the children, not Nicole.
Jamie, how about you?
I was just gonna try to answer Nicole's question. What would that take, talking to our District 1
DOT.
representative?
All right, I will tell you that I already took the initiative to do that, and he had already been down here meeting with a group of you. So I guess what I really need is a follow-up, because he did say that was something we were going to study or have people come look at. I just haven't heard anything back, and it hasn't been done. So,
Who is that? Who is now our District 1 representative?
Like a DOT board member?
Yes.
Is
It's-
Alan Moran?
Oh, is
It's
it
not,
on-
you have to go for lights, you have to go to another part of the state. I called his office and they sent me to another part of the state for the
Did
crosswalk.
anybody get the district engineer involved? It used to be Jerry Jennings. I don't know if it still is.
It's not. Jerry retired.
Jerry retired.
Thank you, Nicole, for your work on that. I mean, sometimes it just takes,
Well, that's how I met, you all are like that too. We're proactive folks.
try
That's
to
why
be
we're on.
proactive.
That's why we do this kind of stuff.
All right. Hal,
I'm good tonight.
you are good tonight. You had some great comments. Also, okay, so I have a couple of things this evening. At the last meeting, I had mentioned about the electric vehicle powering station with this new wave of electric vehicles coming. So hoping that we can do something with that. And then I talked to Melissa, and could I turn that over to you?
Sure, that is something that had been mentioned back when we did the charrette for the town common. And we continue to keep our eye out for grant opportunities and things like that, so we might be able to do that there. So,
And there may be more opportunities, since there is going to be this influx of electric vehicles that
Sure.
I know Ford Motor Company has taken on. Okay, thank you, and we'll keep watching for those. And then, under my report, just one thing is I know that we have an update on our comprehensive plan, which is a really big deal, and Melissa has some information about that.
yes, thank you. So the survey, which is really, really critical to the basis of the plan, is live. You can access it by going to the comprehensive plan section on the website. It is also, the link to the survey is listed on your water bill. So you can get it from the town website, from town social media, or your water bill, but we really encourage you and your neighbors to participate. It's critical that we get everyone's opinion so we know how to shape these policies moving forward. As of about 1 o'clock this afternoon, we have had 109 responses. We certainly would like to see a whole lot more involvement, so please pass that around to your neighbors, because we do want to, we want to see that number increased. And then while I am waiting for the time to be set, the survey will close on October the 22nd. And then our consultants will come back into town on Wednesday, October the 27th. I think it'll be around 5:30 that we will meet here at Town Hall and do what they call as a visioning session. So we'll be able to see the results of the survey and continue our work on the comprehensive plan. So I have a flyer that I have drafted that you will see plastered everywhere as soon as I confirm that time with our consultants. And it also includes the link and the QR code for the survey. So we just ask that everybody respond, even your children. We want to get the youth involved as well. So that's it on that
Bring
matter.
everybody. Okay, great. It's such exciting time in Manteo, just an exciting time in Manteo. So if there's no other business,
Well, I just, back to what you said about the car charging station, what was the answer on that? How do you
She's
put one of
looking.
those in?
We're hoping that we could find a good grant opportunity for
Okay,
that.
well, just curious, I don't know if it all ties together, but if she's talking about powering that with, could all that all be tied together, so it would be a car charging station that's powered off of solar panels or wind panels?
So that might be a little more tricky because we're going to go to bid pretty soon on this building, and those kind of components are not currently in the plans, but maybe it's an opportunity for a future project.
We'll just get Elon Musk to pay for it. We'll put it in one of your charging stations when we want a windmill and a solar panel to charge the power.
What all these other things do, right?
but it's really, these are all innovations that I think we need to be thinking about for our wonderful town of Manteo. So, all right, our next order of business is to adjourn. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move we adjourn.
Got a motioner?
I'll second.
Fields is a seconder. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. This meeting is adjourned. And thank you all for coming.